All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leah Stevens, and I'm an organizer with workers at KCVG building their union with Amazon Labor Union, KCVG. Thanks for joining us on this rainy afternoon for this important update today. So last year, Amazon made $30 billion in profits. That's billion with a B and 10 zeros after it. Jeff Bezos today boasts a net worth of $194 billion. It's hard to even imagine. He's one of the richest men in the world. But he didn't do the work to make those profits, as people know. Amazon workers did. The 4,000 Amazon workers at KCVG, the company's largest air hub in the world, they made those profits. They sort and ship more than 1 billion packages every year, making sure that they get loaded onto planes around the clock. The workers, along with more than 1.5 million Amazon workers around the world, they are the ones who did the work. A year ago, workers here at KCVG began organizing their union because they were sick and tired of the poverty, wages, and mistreatment from managers. They're tired of struggling to make ends meet, trying to figure out which bills to pay, which bills to skip out on, tired of dealing with bill collectors, putting off medical appointments, having to do GoFundMes just to pay for basic necessities. Hearing about coworkers that are couch surfing, living out of their cars, trying to find roommates just to live paycheck to paycheck. KCVG workers are struggling to get by while the top executives are making billions off of their backs. And Amazon doesn't like workers organizing, and they started fighting back. They fought dirty, trying to intimidate workers. They hired high-priced third-party lawyers to fly in and spread lies about the union to try to scare workers and intimidate them. They posted anti-union messages all around the facility, even in the bathroom stalls. It's absolutely ridiculous. They held mandatory anti-union meetings, what workers call brainwashing sessions. That's absolutely what it is. And they tried to stop workers from talking about the union. Why did they do this? It's plain and simple, to protect their power and to protect their billions in profits. But today, we are here to call them out. Last week, Amazon got busted by the federal government for violating the legal rights of KCVG workers. Their right to organize a union, to stand up and defend one another, to be able to go to work without being spied on, intimidated, and hauled into these anti-union brainwashing sessions. To be able to go to work without being threatened or even fired for asserting their rights that are protected under the National Labor Relations Act. The National Labor Relations Board, or NLRB, is the federal arm of the government that is responsible for enforcing labor laws. Last week, they issued a major set of legal complaints against Amazon, and the NLRB investigators found that Amazon managers broke the law at KCVG time and time again. The NLRB is charging Amazon with illegally trying to stop KCVG workers from passing out union literature, illegally spying on interrogating KCVG workers about their union activities, illegally requiring KCVG workers to attend mandatory anti-union sessions, and with removing pro-union workers from their positions. All of these are illegal. They violate workers' federal rights to organize a union here at KCVG. And I think Amazon really doesn't want us getting this word out today. Where this press conference was supposed to be, at the airplane viewing area, they're closed only today. They're open yesterday, and they'll be open tomorrow, but today there are cones out front. But we are here to get this message out. Amazon got busted, and now they're going to have to show up in court and defend themselves. This trial begins April 22nd, and that trial will be in Cincinnati. So we have a number of speakers here with us today. And after the speakers, we'll take questions from the media, so please hold your questions till the end of the speakers. So first up, we are going to have Marcio, a pro-union ramp worker who has been singled out by management.
Yeah. My name's Marcio Rodriguez. I work at the ramp at KCVG, and I'm a proud member of the Amazon Labor Union KCVG. Jeff Bezos' wealth is obscene. But what's more obscene is that he got richer while the KCVG bosses took away our bonuses, our peak pay, and our stock options. That's why I started organizing our union with my coworkers to fight for $30 an hour base pay, 180 hours of paid time off so we can spend time with our families, union representation, paid childcare, and translation rights. In the past year, my organizing has faced a pushback from Amazon since the beginning. Management has repeatedly targeted me while I am participating in union activities. Whether it's the constant badge checks or confrontations to take down a table we use to pass out our union materials to our coworkers. Management only does this to intimidate us. When we told management that we would not take down our union table, their response was to put me and 10 of our other coworkers on a final written warning, which is the last step before termination. This led to 2 straight weeks of me being interviewed by management every day. They would show up to where I was working out on the ramp in front of my coworkers in a truck full of managers and take me to the HR office. This was just a way to try and intimidate me. I remember thinking, great, here they come again, in their little clown car to interrogate me. Coworkers would come up to me and ask me if I was okay. We marched on our boss about the final written warning demanding that Amazon take back the disciplinary action. Over 5 million watched the video on TikTok, and our coworkers were riled up to get even more organized. And now, Amazon's been busted. And we're going to hold them accountable. Makes me sick to think how much Amazon bosses have exploited us as coworkers and our communities as well. These should be good paying jobs. Jeff Bezos has a 417-foot long luxury yacht. It costs $500 million to build and has an on-deck swimming pool that is bigger than the apartments that many of us squeeze our families into. He boasted about his joyride into space a couple of years ago. I don't need a luxury yacht. I don't care about going into space. I just want to make enough money to raise my young children, to make sure they're well fed and clothed, to give them opportunities in the future. I want time off work so I can be with my family. I want my coworkers to have translation rights. I want paid childcare and union representation. That's why I'm standing up for our union, and I'll continue to fight, especially now knowing that the federal investigation has found that Amazon broke the law. Solidarity.
Thanks so much, Marcio, for sharing your hard work and dedication to building this monumental struggle. Next up, we're going to be hearing from another fellow Amazon organizer. Connor Spence is going to be calling in from Zoom here. He's from the JFK 8 facility in Staten Island, New York. 2 years ago, Connor and his fellow workers at JFK 8 organized a union, Amazon Labor Union, and now they're fighting to get Amazon to come to the bargaining table, and their solidarity is indispensable to us. So we've been working closely with Connor and the other union members at JFK 8, and we are so glad that he can join us from Zoom today. Just give us a moment here while we get that set. All right, Connor, I think you're good to go.
Great. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me all right. My name is Connor Spence. I'm an organizer at JFK 8 over here in Staten Island, New York. I'm one of the founding organizers of Amazon Labor Union. Much like my fellow organizers at KCVG, I too have been retaliated against. I've similarly been prevented from distributing union literature, had it confiscated from me. I had been told that what I was doing was in violation of the company's solicitation policy and illegal policy. I've been told that I can't organize during hours that I wasn't scheduled to work, another illegal policy. I've been suspended multiple times. I've been retaliated against for collective action, and ultimately in November of last year, I was terminated. And that case also is going before the court as well. That's all to say that I've been through this process many times. The board has issued a consolidated complaint against Amazon KCVG for a lot of these same violations of labor law, and I can speak to the significance of this complaint in particular. In 2021, I was part of a complaint that the company had issued against Amazon for a policy that prevented organizers from being in the workplace during non-working hours, and the company had settled the complaint, and it was the largest settlement in US history, the largest NLRB settlement in US history, because the company was compelled to give a notice to all of its million workers across the country, basically affirming their right to organize, to join a labor organization, to engage in protected activity, to talk to their coworkers, distribute literature, etc. It was delivered to every single one of Amazon's employees. And it was a huge victory for Amazon workers, for the movement, for working class people, because it galvanized workers. It assuaged a lot of the fear that they had around organizing, that the federal government would protect their activities. And now, similarly, in this complaint, as I understand it, the board is seeking a remedy that would require not only that Amazon rescind its unlawful solicitation policy, a policy that exists to prevent our organizers from basically talking to our coworkers and distributing union literature inside the workplace. But they're going to have to do it nationally, and they're going to have to do a reading of the court order nationally across every single facility, which is basically an unprecedented remedy. I've never seen the board try to do something like this, and the effect that that would have on Amazon organizing and affirming the rights of workers, and allowing them to understand that the activities they're engaging in are protected and it is their right to organize. That would just be a huge victory for us in New York and at KCVG and for Amazon workers all over, and hopefully would galvanize those same workers to start organizing for themselves.
Thanks so much, Connor. And we stand in solidarity with you in your struggle to force Amazon to come to the bargaining table. Next up, we have Abu Gham. He's a leader in the community and also an Amazon worker at CVG2.
Thank you, Lee. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Abu Ngam. I work for Amazon CVG2. And like many immigrants working at KCVG, we organize ourselves and try to do better for Amazon and do better for ourselves. I'm gonna give you one simple example. My family lives like 6,000 miles away. So we need 180 hours like paid time off to see our families. Let's see if I have family here and my mom and dad and siblings are back home. So we need to, we need enough time like to see them like anybody else. Some are from Arizona and lives here and they need time like to see their families. That's just one example I give you. The other thing is there is some college student who don't speak English who just came here, but they have knowledge. They can do something, and right now not easy for them to get into the system because of no translation. I don't think if it's right. I have my own example. Last month I was helping someone like I used to do to get like interview and everything, but just one of the person here sent him out saying like he need to speak fluent English and everything while I'm here like to translate for him. Another thing is everything's expensive right now, so we need at least $30. We fight for that. And what's happening recently, charge against Amazon shows that things are not right over there. So we're gonna keep up. We're gonna keep up and work together. Immigrants and non-immigrants are gonna work together like to fix things. Fixing things is not just for today. We don't live for just today. And we gotta think about generation coming. We gotta think about like what's happening right now. Everything's expensive, so we gotta do something. And no worry. Daily, you're gonna see daily people gonna sign up. I do appreciate 1,000 or more than 1,000 petitions recently from immigrant and non-immigrants and organizers. Thank you so much for that great job you did, and trust me, you keep up. Uh, what Amazon should do, if people that need translation used to work there and do that good jobs that make them like all them profits, while other more smarter and more knowledge but need translation, Amazon said no, that's not right. So we're gonna keep up the fight. We all true fighter, and thanks so much. I'm glad to come here tonight, and we keep up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Abu, for sharing your experience and for your support of ALU KCVG. Next up, we're going to have Braden Pierce, a pro-union worker on the ramp who has been fighting for the union since the beginning.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you all for coming. My name is Braden Pierce. I'm a worker at KCVG, working to unload and load the tens of millions of dollars of cargo that goes through that facility every single day. But more importantly, I'm an organizer with Amazon Labor Union KCVG. Last year, we began organizing our union, fighting for the demands of $30 an hour, 180 hours of pay time off, union representation in disciplinary hearings, as well as on-site child care and translation services for our coworkers that speak English as a second language. Amazon doesn't like our demands, but more importantly, they don't like the power and dominion that we're taking away from them over their employees. Last year, I was a learning ambassador at KCVG. Now that's a lateral move. It doesn't have any extra pay, but it has a whole heap of extra responsibilities. It also gave me access to the new hires that were coming in just about every month. And I taught their classes. I taught them how to operate the equipment. But I also talked to them about what the union meant for them and what it could do for them and the changes that it could see in their lives. Amazon didn't like that. And so as of last year, I'm no longer a learning ambassador. Due to it being strictly about my union activities, it was myself, another individual named Nick, and another individual named Steven, who at the time were all active in the union organizing effort. We were the only ones that weren't hired back as learning ambassadors, so it was plain as day that it was due to our activities in the union. Now that's shameful, and the NLRB thinks so too. So they're taking Amazon to court next April of, so that's next month. Now that's par for the course for Amazon. The NLRB reported that Amazon had 240 pending or settled unfair labor practice charges against them in 26 different states. That's harassing pro-union workers, that's retaliating against and firing them, and that's in North Carolina, Mississippi, Michigan. It's all over the country. Now, we want to know how Amazon made $30 billion in profit last year. Well, we already do. That's off our backs. That's off our labor. And at KCVG, we're not just organizing for our rights. We're organizing with other Amazon workers because we know when we all stand together, there's nothing that the company can do to stop us.
Pierce.
All right, thanks, Pierce. Next up, we're going to hear from Travis Levensky, one of the attorneys representing our union. Travis is a labor lawyer out of Seattle, law firm of Barnard, Iglitzson, and Levitt, and they are fighters for workers nationally. And Travis is going to be calling in from Zoom. So, Travis, whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you can hear me okay. And thank you for each and all of these workers for sharing their stories and inspiring words thus far in the rain. It's like I'd like to add a few words on the Labor Board's recent complaint. The Labor Board's complaint seeks to hold Amazon accountable for 9 separate charges of union busting alleged by workers at the KCVG facility since the start of the union's campaign. The Labor Board continues to evaluate pending and future charges by workers, and so we can safely assume that number will continue to grow as the campaign builds momentum. Unfortunately, this complaint is just the latest development showcasing Amazon's pattern of malicious union busting in response to its workers exercising their federally protected rights to organize collectively. You've already heard today from some of the brave workers about some of Amazon's union busting activities at the KCVG plant. Elsewhere, Amazon is, as Braden just mentioned, currently facing over 240 open or settled unfair labor practice charges and has been found guilty by NLRB judges on multiple instances of violating its workers' federal protected labor rights. Because of Amazon's demonstrated pattern of widespread anti-union conduct and the particular seriousness of the misconduct at the ALU KCVG facility, we have asked the Labor Board to seek a federal court injunction against the union busting activities at the KCVG facility so these workers can exercise their labor rights freely and without fear of retaliation. That's right. We're taking this step of urging the Labor Board to seek an injunction because Amazon's behavior at the facility is part of a company-wide pattern of breaking the law way beyond the sort of thing that we see at other large companies. In this complaint, the NLRB prosecutors are seeking a range of broad remedies, some of which Connor has already mentioned, including requiring notice postings of Amazon's unlawful conduct at facilities nationwide, requiring mandatory training for management at KCVG covering the federally protected labor rights of its employees, rescinding Amazon's solicitation policy, which is relied on to disproportionately discriminate against union supporting employees and union organizers in an attempt to stop them from communicating with workers about the union at all of the Amazon locations where this policy is in effect, and to reinstate the 3 workers who Amazon retaliated against for their union activities to their previously held learning ambassador positions. This complaint against Amazon represents a momentous step towards holding Amazon accountable for its unlawful anti-worker behavior.
All right, thank you again, Travis, for joining us and for that update. So next, we're delighted to be joined today by Joyce Powell, Southwest Regional Director for U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown. Senator Brown has been a dedicated supporter of Amazon labor union KCVG. Workers at KCVG come from all over our tri-state region, but especially from Ohio. Senator Brown appeared by video at our February 3rd community rally to show his support for our right to organize. So thank you, Senator Brown, for sending your staff to be in solidarity with us today.
Thank you, Leah. Again, my name is Joyce Powell. I'm the Southwest Regional Director for U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown in Cincinnati, Ohio. Thank you for inviting us again. And I would like to share a few words on behalf of the Senator. Thank you. To the workers of KCVG Air Hub outside Cincinnati, standing up and fighting to form a union, we are so proud of you and your fight. Organizing a workplace is not easy, and it takes a special guts to take on one of the biggest corporations in the world. You have the right to organize. You have the right to band together for a voice in your workplace, for better pay and benefits, for more control over your schedules, and for better working conditions. Keep organizing, keep talking to your coworkers, and keep fighting for the dignity of work, not just for you, but for workers across the country. Thank you on behalf of Senator Sherrod Brown.
Thank you.
Got my vote.
Thank you so much, Joyce, for joining us. So our 2 final speakers today are here because they take seriously the labor slogan that an injury to one is an injury to all. Brian Griffin is president of the Cincinnati AFL-CIO, and Tim Donahue is president of the Northern Kentucky Central Labor Council. They've been huge in supporting our organizing at KCVG, as have many other area unions in the area. So first, we're going to hear from Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me here again today. And ladies and gentlemen, just like to make a brief statement. I want to thank you all for joining us here today. And as we gather here, it's important that for many, Amazon has become synonymous with innovation and convenience. However, Behind its towering success lies a stark reality for its workers: grueling hours, inadequate wages, and challenging work conditions. It's time to recognize that the backbone of this corporate empire is its workers, and they deserve better. The National Labor Relations Board's findings regarding these injustices at the Amazon Air Hub at CVG, they're daunting. Amazon's response to these issues should be thoughtful, proactive, and aligned with a new commitment to fair labor practices and employee welfare. Amazon's response must include open communication, a commitment to compliance, an internal review of all alleged violations of labor rights, corrective actions to remedy the situation, employee engagement to address any underlying concerns or grievances that may have contributed to these issues, a commitment to improvement by implementing meaningful reforms, external collaboration with key stakeholders such as the labor unions, advocacy groups, and labor law experts, and a long-term strategy for maintaining positive labor relations and preventing future NLRB issues. Am I confident of that? Not overly. By taking those proactive steps, though, Amazon can demonstrate to the world its commitment to fostering a fair and inclusive workplace while safeguarding its employees' rights and well-being. Unionizing Amazon workers isn't just about fair wages and better benefits. It's about dignity, respect, and a voice in the workplace. And now to you, Mr. Bezos. You know, I don't have any real problem with your ridiculous wealth. I do have a problem with you building that ridiculous wealth on the backs of the working poor. I would offer that the voices of your workers are the backbone of your organization. Their dedication, their commitment, their hard work have enabled Amazon to thrive and succeed. My primary message to you is to listen to your employees, their concerns and grievances, and foster an environment where workers feel heard, respected, and valued. That is vital for their well-being and an essential aspect of your company's long-term success and sustainability. I do not raise these issues to criticize, but rather out of genuine despair in the inability to see positive change. I firmly believe that by working collaboratively with your workers, you will create a more equitable, just, productive, and prosperous workplace. In closing, we stand in solidarity with Amazon workers who bravely advocate for their rights. Their fight is not just for themselves, but for workers all across the globe and who face similar challenges. It's a fight for economic justice and human dignity. We urge Amazon and you, Mr. Bezos, to respect your workers' rights and engage in constructive dialogue with them. Let us not forget that our nation's economy is built upon the well-being of the workforce. This isn't just the right thing to do, it's smart business. Either way, we support the unionization of Amazon workers. We are standing up for them and with them, and the values of fairness and equality and equity that we all hold dear. Solidarity forever. Union strong. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Brian. And last up, we're going to hear from Tim Donahue.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Tim Donahue. I'm the president of Northern Kentucky Central Labor Council. I want to make a brief statement. You know, a few years ago, a lot of union members in Northern Kentucky and a lot of working people in Northern Kentucky gave up tax money to allow Amazon to come here with the promise of good jobs, good family life, and a better life for all. Well, according to this document, they've been lying. We deserve better than this. We did not allow them to come here to treat our citizens this way. We demand that they step up to the plate, allow these people to organize, and then bargaining with them. It's been proven to work in this area. DHL can do it. United Parcel can do it. There's no reason Amazon can't do it. And somebody said solidarity forever. I want to issue another statement. It's solidarity wall to wall. Come after one, you'll face us all. Mr. Bezos, you're next. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Tim. Really appreciate it. And thanks everyone for joining us today through the crazy rain and thunder. I'm glad the sun's coming out now. Your solidarity from Cincinnati and from Northern Kentucky means a lot to us. So members of the media should have received a summary of the charges against Amazon along with a full copy of the NLRB complaint. We have time now for any questions.
Some of the things in this complaint are things that workers have been saying for a long time now that have been happening. How does it feel to have that now validated by this?
It feels good. I mean, it's been very hard to go into our workplace and face our managers, but we're not going to let that scare us. And we're glad that the court is going to hold them accountable for the things that they've done. We deserve to form a union. We have the right to form a union. And Amazon needs to recognize that. We're not scared, and we're going to keep fighting.
Yeah, definitely agree with what Marcio said. I'm Jordan. I work in the SORT building at KCVG. I mean, we've been saying all along that they've been breaking the law. We know that they're scared of our organizing drive. That's exactly why they're willing to take these kind of egregious steps. But I think it's heartening to know that the federal government's taken them to court over it. I think, though, that, the key thing for us is continuing to organize in the workplace. If we want to force Amazon to meet our demands, to bargain with us for a just contract, it means that we have to get as many coworkers involved as possible. We want to turn out to that court hearing on April 22nd. But what's most important is what comes after April 22nd. That's why we're continuing to fight and organize for our demands, like $30 an hour, more paid time off, translation and representation at disciplinary meetings.
What was your name again?
Jordan Quinn.
Yeah, any other questions here today?
I want to say something about what you said. Yeah, again, my name is Abu Ngam. And I know many people who are dreaming to work for Amazon. And what's happening, it means something. It means something going on since a long time, right? Amazon can do better. Amazon, you don't deserve what's happening right now. You can do better. Just make a big change. And if Amazon grow, it means employees do everything, right? Just take care of them. They're one of you. Employees are your side. They're your family. Just take care of them. It's easy.
Thanks, Abu.
Yeah, we have another question.
Yeah, what message would you send out to coworkers about this charge and the next steps coming out of this?
Hello. Again, my name is Braden Pierce. And I would tell them that while it is vindicating that the federal government recognizes that Amazon is breaking the law and violating our labor rights, the courts move slow and we can't rely on that. We have to keep organizing. We have to keep fighting on the shop floor. And it's important to get involved, and it's going to take everybody in order to beat this company.
Should coworkers be scared?
Yes.
Hell no.
Heck no.
Can I say something about that, though?
They should be scared if we don't get the union in there.
Yeah.
Because people like me that work hard, that do what they're supposed to do, get fired. For things that are ridiculous.
It is extremely important that you hear what he just said. You all landed a punch. You landed a good punch. But this fight is just about to get hot. And you're going to have to bring it. You're going to have to bring it hard now. It's time for this union, and I say that in present tense, not in future tense. But it's time you guys realize that there's a rule. If a fight is inevitable, hit the biggest guy first. And it's time for you to get ready. What's coming is a wave. Be ready to push back. Be ready. Get organized. Get solid, but do not think for a moment that this ruling by the NLRB, as positive as it is anything other than the next step, and be ready.
All right, thanks again, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you on April 22nd and the fight for the union beyond. Thanks.